Most studios are busy, but they're flying blind. So they're doing their sessions, running around, working hard, but they don't actually know how well the business is doing, and they're not learning about their business. Don't be that studio. You know how they say, what you can't track, you can't improve. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. If you're just getting started with your podcast studio, or maybe you've launched already, but you're still figuring out how to actually make it profitable, this episode is definitely for you. So here's the truth. Most studios take a long time to become profitable, months, sometimes even years, and a lot of them never get there at all. But it doesn't have to be that way. What if you could skip the guesswork, avoid the common mistakes, and set things up in a way that make your studio lean, sustainable, and profitable from day one? We managed to do it with each of our studios. We were profitable within anywhere between 0 and 3 months and maintained a margin of 30% plus beyond $2 million of revenue. So I'm going to share a few things that we've learned along the way and that we were implementing every time we start a new studio. I'm going to break down the 3 key things we did early at Poddster that helped us not just become profitable, but stay profitable at scale. So no theory, this actually worked. Number 1, how to set up your finances so you're never flying blind. Number 2, how to price your services in a way that protects your margins. And number 3, how to manage your spending so you're actually fueling growth, not just burning cash. Let's get into it. All right, let's start with what might sound like the most boring part, but honestly, it's the most important one, your finances. Before you even open your doors, plug in microphones, or post anything on Instagram, you need to have a very clear picture of your numbers. And I don't mean a rough idea. I mean really know your numbers. This is something we did early at Poddster, and I think every studio should do the same. Leaving this for later, which is usually the case, will just 100x the effort that you need to put in fixing it. So here's what that looked like for us. First, we've set up a proper P&L, so profit and loss. We listed every single cost line, rent, salaries, equipment, software, marketing, and matched it up against our expected revenue month by month. That P&L became our heartbeat, our fingers on the pulse, something we look at every day, week, month. So tracking everything, it shows us clearly, are we making money or we bleeding? So if you start early, you will have a historical record that you can use to learn about your business better. Next, we've built a detailed balance sheet just to keep track of what we own and what we owe. Things like how much cash we had in the bank, capital that we raised, how much we invested in gear, any deposits or liabilities. The best advice here is, even if you don't have investors and shareholders, approach it as you do. Even if it's just you running the show, you still need to treat it like a business. And the last part, we've set up a daily dashboard, a super detailed Google Sheet or Excel that gives us the pulse of the business in real time. We track things like daily bookings, their revenue, studio revenue versus added services revenue, services sold, added services sold, number of active customers, I don't know, how many were new versus how many were recurring, like all of it every day. Because here's the thing, most studios are busy, but they're flying blind. So they're doing their sessions, running around, working hard, but they don't actually know how well the business is doing, and they're not learning about their business. Don't be that studio. You know how they say, what you can't track, you can't improve. And the earlier you start tracking, the faster you'll figure out what's working and what's not. Let's now talk about one of the trickiest but most important decisions you'll make early on, your pricing. This is where a lot of new studios get it wrong. If you price too low, yeah, you might fill up fast, but you'll also start bleeding money. If you go too high, you risk scaring off the exact people you're trying to attract at the beginning. So the key isn't just finding the nice number in the middle, it's thinking ahead. Here's the golden rule we use at Poddster. So price your services based on where your expenses will be 1 year from now. So not today, 1 year from day zero. You might ask why. It's because once your pricing is public, it's sticky. You can't just bump it up every month when your cost increase. If your rent goes up or you start hiring more people and you've set your prices too low from the beginning, you're going to feel it fast. You'll lose margin on every single booking, and it's tough to recover from that. And trust me, your expenses will grow, like a lot. So what should your pricing actually cover? It needs to take into account all your current overheads, but also factor in where your business is going. Will you have more team members? Will your fixed costs go up? Is your rent going to increase? Are you planning to reinvest in better gear or software? Are you going to increase investment in marketing? You also want to leave yourself some breathing room, enough margin for running promotions, doing partner deals, maybe rewarding loyal customers later on. So all of this needs to be incorporated in your pricing early on. And most importantly, your pricing should reflect the quality of your work. Don't try to compete by being the cheapest studio around. That's a race to the bottom and nobody wins that one. At Poddster, we learned early and pretty quickly that pricing isn't just about covering costs, it's about positioning. It tells people what kind of experience to expect. Are you a premium, full-service studio? Are you focused on beginners? Are you the go-to for brands? That perception starts with your price. And once it's out there, it's hard to walk back. So take time, think it through, and get it right from the start. All right, so let's now talk about the 3 biggest buckets where your money will go. Your real estate, your team, and your marketing. First, real estate. In most cases, your rent is going to be your biggest fixed cost. So you need to be really smart about this from day one. A lot of new studio owners make the mistake of falling in love with a great location. But the truth is, your clients care more about what's inside than what's outside. So find locations that are great, accessible, have great rental price, even if the building itself is not that fancy. Don't go downtown and pay a fortune. Go outside and broker a good deal. Your customers usually record, like 2 times a month? They will make an effort to come to you. But make sure to impress them inside, deliver experience and focus on the service. Output is more important than location. And output is going to drive your growth. So be smart about your space and find a deal that is not going to be too big of a load for your P&L. Next thing in your expenses is your team. So your team is everything. In Podcast Studio, they are the product. But at the start, you don't need a big team. You need the right team. At Poddster, we started with a really lean structure. So everyone did more than one job. Our studio manager also coordinated recordings. Our producer edited. It wasn't perfect all the time, but it worked. And it kept us profitable. You want people who are adaptable, who care about client experience, who are willing to roll up their sleeves. You don't have room for passengers in the early stage. Attitude matters more than CVs. You need people who are hungry and humble. Make sure to do this right. Make sure to hire people who are really in it for the long run and who are going to build the studio with you, and make sure to deliver the customer experience that you design, because the customer experience matters and customer experience is predominantly driven by your team. And finally, we're coming to marketing as a third bucket of your expenses. This is the one most people put off. And what we've seen in the market is that a lot of studios are not investing in marketing. They say, I'll spend on marketing later once I have some extra cash. But that mindset can kill your momentum before you even get going. You need to spend to make money. Marketing isn't optional. It's how people find you. You don't need a massive budget at the beginning, but you do need to allocate something. Even a small monthly spend can go a long way if you use it well. So make sure to test things, Instagram ads, paid collabs with creators, launch events, free workshops, try it all, then double down on what works. The worst thing that can happen to a great studio is no one knowing it exists. All right, let's bring it all together now. If you want your studio to be profitable faster, here are some golden rules. Track everything from day one. Don't fly blind. Price for where you're headed, not just where you are, because your costs will grow. And spend intentionally, especially on space, your team, and marketing. Those three are your biggest levers. The faster you take control of your finances, the faster you take control of your future. And just remember, being profitable doesn't mean cutting every cost to the bone. It means building smart. It means knowing your numbers, growing with purpose, and not rushing into decisions that drain your runway. Profitability isn't luck, it's designed. And if you get this part right, everything else becomes a lot easier. Thanks for tuning in. And if you have any questions, drop me a line. I'll be happy to chat, whether we schedule a call or we just exchange a few messages. We've been through a lot. We learned quite a few things and we want to share with you. See you next time.